welcome to a Let's Play of Banish. So, I can hear this bounding in my head. I'm gonna go and turn it down. Just a bit. Okay. So, this is Banish. I have played a couple of levels on a rather extreme, small, harsh levels with disasters and all that fun stuff, so that was fun. That was fun indeed. Yeah. If I managed to complete this and get about 50 citizens for about 4 years, I'd get the achievement Mountain Men or something like that. But if we're doing a playthrough, let's make ourselves a little bit better, shall we? Let's do valleys, let's go medium. We'll go fair for climate. Disasters on? Yeah, let's see those on. Starting conditions, let's go medium. This will give us a game with 5 families to start with. Clothing, food, firewood, tools, and construction materials are provided. A storage bin has already been built. Some of the seeds for the fields and orchards are available. If I went with hard, I get no seeds. If I go easy, I should get, a herd for livestock. Now let's go medium. Okay. What should we name our town? How about the Exile? The Exiles. Nah. Let's call it Hope. Okay. So it has been assumed for me, based on how I play, that in the, let's see where we are first, shall we? That's our resources. Here's our map. So the main river for trading is down there. That's not a bad start. And there's a nice river going up. This isn't a bad place to start. Now, it said I start with some seeds. What seeds do I start off with? I start with 2 seeds, pepper and wheat. Okay, that's not bad. Remove structure. And then I want to see what type of orchard I can start with. I can do walnut. Yay. Okay. So, the first thing we're going to want is we're going to want some way of getting food. I'm going to make... Actually, not there. I want to make sure that I can do my trading post somewhere, and then do my boats around it. Because that, the trading post is very it doesn't like certain areas. There we go. So, I'm just going to put that on pause so I know that's where it's going to go. I'll make this one on pause for now. Now we got some families over here. Let's give them some homes. There we go, 4 homes over there. This actually will be very decent for fields. It's gonna be so different for me starting again on medium. Can I do my full width? Nope, there's a mountain there. There we go. Large field for the wheat. And then I'll make an orchard. Not over there. In fact, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have a forester here. And then I'm gonna put that on pause if I can. Oh, you're like right in there, aren't you? There you are. I'll put that one on pause. I'm actually going to put 3 of these houses on pause as well, because they're not mandatory for me right now. I'm also going to say food gatherers. According to what I understand from the help files, the gatherers will be able to find food near old trees. Where is that herbs? I don't know. I've been reading all of this. So, let's see. So on top of that, I'm going to want herbs. And we'll connect it like there. Okay. I'm pausing them so they don't go to construct them right away. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're not mandatory. But by placing them and pausing them, I get an idea of where I want things before I actually am stuck putting the things there. I'm thinking I'm going to make this whole area over here for food and pastures alone. But one field enough will let us work together and survive the winter. We get 40 tools to begin with and 30 coats. Yeah, right. Actually, I want to make a marketplace. And if I'm going to make a marketplace, I want to put it fairly close to these areas. And if that's where the marketplace is going to be, I'm going to want the... where did it go? There it is. The blacksmith to be here. A little lower. The tailor to be nearby. And I don't want to put a pub. I don't want to do tavern. It will help with the making brew and all that, but it's so late game, I don't want it. At least not even for this planning stage, anyway. Okay, so for storages, I got my barn already, so I don't need that, I guess. But I do want to have a storage barn just a little closer. That's not mandatory right now. Okay. And as we develop our town, I'm going to be making roads over here so these guys can do faster. And yeah, I think we're good. So I'm going to go into this and say I want 3 of them to be builders, or 4 of them to be builders. So they're grabbing the wood and materials and they're going to be filling this up. As for these ones where they have something to remove, they'll remove them. And see, they're removing them. They're going to put them on the stockpile. If I need to, I can add another stockpile, not a big deal. Speed them up a bit. And anything that's paused, they're just going to ignore. Oh, wow. That didn't take them very long, did it? Wow. Hey, honey, I know we just had a house, but good thing you had triplets, eh? Yeah. That didn't take them long at all. And they started off too. Actually, because they're doing so well on making children, I'm going to put the school right over here. And I'm gonna leave that on as a priority. So they're bringing the stone over. Yeah, they're saying our wood is low. That's fine. We get all this. See, they're just clearing up the field. And they have the two guys working down there. Of stone is low, that's... Okay, so we're apparently low on stone. Not a biggie. Tell them to go get that stone instead. Oh, there's some stone there too, I think. That is all stone, right? I think it is. So I'm going to tell them to harvest wheat. And then I'm going to go in... Firewood is low. Okay. For farmers. Oh, I missed that, didn't I? Yeah, I did. And we're in the late spring. Oh, that's ready. And for our... Okay, so now I got some fishermen down there. And they're gonna go from down there all the way up to here. But that's why I have this going as well. In the summer, or the late summer, I will tell them to harvest it. Can I increase this? I can increase it up to 6. Yeah, now they're complaining that food's low. Over here they're cold and hungry because their food supply is gone. That's fine, that's why I have these going. We must not let the children be stupid. Quickly, before it is too late. And a teacher. Did I close that? I did. There we go. Get those out of the way. This is the gatherer's hut. Let's get that going. We're now in the summer. Oh, that's ready. Turn that down for speed. The problem is they're going to take all our wood and turn them into fuel. What can you do? I guess I could have started off with those kids. Doesn't seem right, though. And our tools are going down because the more times you need to use tools, the more times they break. Simple math. Yeah, it's gonna give us a warning here stating that our food supply is low. But again, I'm waiting for late summer before I start harvesting. It's gonna be a crappy first year. All I can hope for is that I can get some firewood into these families so they don't get frozen. Oh well. It's just like really, really bad corn. How'd I do that? Is pitched down? Yeah. Really bad. Just leave that up there for now. Well, late summer, and we're at 50. Time to harvest, guys. So now they're harvesting it. And I might have to throw some more farmers on that if we get into some early autumn. Because the last thing I want to do is lose all our crops because of frost. And old trees are falling over, not because we're doing anything, but because that's just how trees... Well, what trees do, they fall. Now, I'm not worried about that, because they obviously have the food in their homes. And according to them, I have nobody homeless, so I start off with 5 families in this one, I guess. I'm used to starting off with 4, I guess with easy it's 6. Go help them. Yeah, especially with a large crop like this, you want to actually start in the late summer. Because I lose a lot of food normally. I was going for the people of the land. I was doing very well on the on mountainous. It was mountainous disaster on harsh terrain or harsh weather climax. It was pretty nasty for my hard one. I was doing everything without fields and cows and all that. And I honestly didn't like it that much. It was like everything was going so well. I got up to like 100 citizens and then everyone had kids and everyone ended up starving for some reason. It was like, really? Really? So, at least with this I have more control over the food. And again, the reason why we're losing food out of our bank or barn is because, well, people are obviously getting, and this is wheat. That's right, this is wheat, not corn. That's why it looks different. I'm used to. Early autumn. Okay. Other builder, go help. In the winter, because they won't farm or anything, I'm gonna change the farmers into fishermen and builders. And what the school is for is that these kids here, when they hit the age of when they can become adolescents, so to speak, like early adolescence, back in like medieval times where it's like 10 years old, you're able to work in labor. But anyways, they go into as a student. So to them, this is their college. There's that for perspective, isn't that nice, hey? When you're 10, you go into college. This is a child here who is walking way too fast for me to click on. There you go. So that's little Erlen, who is happy, not educated, age 3, wearing clothing of fair quality and carrying no tools, and is just being a little child idling around. When little Errol ends up being 10, he'll go into the school, and we will have fun watching him grow up. Yes. So now this is all done. So what I will do now is I'm going to turn off all the farmers, put 2 of them as fishermen because that's all they can do, and make the other 3 builders. Oops. Actually, that's good because we're at 20 minutes. You know what? I'm gonna make these half-hour videos. I'll be fine. So, am I paused? I'm paused. Yeah, we'll make these half hours. Like, this game is pretty much what you're gonna be seeing for this, and having it just 20 minutes every time will feel like you're not making any progress, or you guys will be like, he doesn't make very long videos. And half-hour one will actually be a little bit nicer to watch. It's an episode. Yeah. So maybe I could have gone and like probably risked it being harvesting in early autumn. That's iron. We'll collect the iron, and we'll collect the stone. I really want these to be built over here. According to it, I have 3 builders on the job, but not really. What harvesters do is, or gatherers, sorry, is that they'll walk around this little circle of theirs, and they'll pick up mushrooms and onions and roots, and that's considered food. The reason why I put the forester here is because mushroom roots and all that grow near old trees. These are considered old trees because they're before collapsing and they're adults, as we can see. And the herbalist does almost the same thing, only it's not for food, it's for medicine. So if I have it near the forester, they're going to wait until the trees are grown before they start cutting them down. So I have higher chance of actually gathering herbs and other things while they're near that. But right now I need to get my logs up. Yeah. What do I want first? A trading post? Or another fishing? I want another fishing. Food is very important. Oh, what's in your space? Oh. Doesn't care about that rock, it cares about that wood. The reserve of food is low. Of course it is. That's what you get for making burgers. Making burgers, pow pow pow. Yeah, so that was just a little bit over, now it's gonna be good. Okay, so we have 2 students now, which is our children. And the reason why I want to get them educated is because educated civilians work better. Like, for example, when they cut down these trees, you're getting like almost like twice the wood, is what I understand. Like, I can do this and the game will still go in the background. As you can see, people still moving. So if I look up schools, schools are used to increase the education of citizens. Educated students will provide more resources in any profession they're assigned to. So what that what that tells me is that if they're fishing, they'll get more fish. If they're chopping wood, they'll get more wood. If they're growing trees and cutting wood, they'll get more logs. If they're gathering herbs, they'll gather more herbs, etc., etc., etc. I wondered if an educated teacher will make twice as many students. Doubtful. That's not a resource, I suppose. Yeah. Dum 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 dum. How's our stone is very, very pitiful. I have logs that are being gathered, and I have stone being gathered, so if they don't get to it, that's their fault. Yeah, like as you can see, like these are the mushrooms. This is a little tree growing, I think. Pretty sure. Those are the onions. I think those are berries or the herbs. I'm not entirely sure. But they grow around trees. Like, they just spawn and grow around trees, kind of like how I have all this going. So when this is finished, they'll be picking up these onions, and I think those as well. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. And of course, this is going to like, I don't know what, I don't have anybody to work here, because that's what tells me is that no citizens are here to work. Aw, those trees just fell down. I didn't get the wood. And the reason why I want a second dock is because if I have two fisheries going off, right, and they're not overlapping, then I have a higher chance of making sure I survive this winter without having to resort to hunting. Of course, that never happens. Yeah, all those alerts are telling me is that your store is emptying out. We're a little low on the food in the store. That doesn't tell me, like, oh, well, that's not including that there's about 200 wheat in Bobby's house, and about, yeah, 200 wheats in John's house, and I'm not even looking at names, by the way, I'm just kind of, like, just naming them arbitrarily. So, those alerts are annoying, and I cannot turn them off. I think. I'm pretty sure I cannot. Interesting. So, we are doing quite well on that one. I am hoping that my first person is not livestock when I make this merchant. This trading post. I hope it's not livestock. Livestock's like really expensive. Like really, really, really expensive. And I found that wood seems to be a common item that we can trade between all merchants. And they're worth about 4, so if I can get about a couple of these little... Oh, I don't have anybody there. Okay, you are now going to be a gatherer. Go, gather, be free. Bring us food, laborer. Yes. So anyways, if I can get enough of these forestries... Yeah, foresters and... having foresters around and gathering logs and bring them here and cutting them up for wood and put them into the storage house, I'll make sure that I'd be able to trade quite easily. I also found that stone's worth about 4, but I don't really want to use stone. Stone, to me, is considered a non-renewable resource, while trees and firewood is. I could use food, but I like my food. Food keeps us alive, and food's my most common weakness when it comes down to losing people. But anyways, I digress. We're at 30 minutes. I will see you guys next episode.